Ladies and gentlemen, if you're interested, we have a putting contest at the far end of the ballroom for a free round of golf. Far west end of the ballroom. Anybody wants to participate, you get one putt. Got a putting contest going on at the far west end of the banquet room. One single putt for a chance to win a round of golf. We already had one winner. We'll have a putt off. Anybody else? Make it. Got a putting contest going on in the banquet room on the west end. For a round of golf for 4, you get 1 shot.
Magnifying glass next to that.
It's like more than 15 minutes.
Yes, we're all growing.
For those interested, we have a putting contest going on right now, the far west end of the banquet room. You get 1 stroke to get it in for a free round of golf. We already have 2 people made it. We're going to have a putt off. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a putting contest going on in the banquet room. You get one putt for an opportunity to win a round of golf. We already have 3 people who've made it, so we'll have a putt off. West end of the banquet room.
I sure hope so. I hope we're in the right place. Otherwise, this is awkward. I'll putt, sure. Yeah, it's just a tiny putting green. Where is it? In the corner by the end of the hot plate. Winning a free round of golf.
Free golf. Can I take a picture of you? So pretty.
It's not like such an odd, like, triple chin angle. My side is thick.
Hell yeah.
You were struggling for 30 minutes. I guess it's weird. Oh, so it did have a couple parts in it. I do.
Can you already make it?
Yeah. I got made the putt, surprisingly. Even though when I actually golf, I can't putt much.
By the way, you are
I'll get on the green within 2 shots and then I 4 putt in the green.
plenty of casual dressing going on.
Where's your keys?
I was surprised DA's even wearing like casual. He looks nice. Got a little bit of a beard going on. Steven's gonna get jealous of all my cousins.
Check this out.
Yeah, it's always beard flirting.
I wonder why these tables are so messed up. Like the numbers.
I have no idea.
I mean, the strike's gonna really, I'm not gonna worry about it.
I didn't do anything. I
It's,
swear.
it's what you gotta do. I'm looking for table 16 because I had a cat.
I'm gonna say 16's down on the opposite. I think the double digits are better.
Yeah, I don't know any rhyme or reason as to why those are all like.
I am not gonna ask.
Well, Aunt Sue even said, she's like, we didn't know how they were gonna do the tables.
Oh, okay. So it's not even that.
I told her, I was like, it's okay, it's the teacher in us that's like,
Hey, how are you?
I get it.
Are you teaching English this
You mind if I sit next to you?
Oh, by all means. I'm actually
Playing my
English
seat.
county. It's okay, as you can tell, I'm gonna be playing with my seat.
What, now are you with the sheriff's department or are you just taking pictures?
I'm actually, I'm actually a firefighter. I am Uncle Charley's niece.
Oh, okay.
I am John's oldest daughter. John is his second oldest brother.
I'm Marty, by the way. It's so funny. What's your name?
Katie name tags.
It's funny. He and I were in the Marine Corps together. And both drummers, both percussionists. And we kind of like, our time overlapped a little bit, but we have the same group of friends. And
I knew from my dad, because he's the other Marine fan.
I think we played golf with him.
Yeah, I'm his oldest.
Well, it's funny because I was at a golf class or something. I met Sue, and Sue went back. Long story short, Sue said, "Charlie, you got to meet. She's a female Marine." Blah blah blah. We got talking, and we knew all the same people, and we overlapped, but we kind of barely remember each other.
Go back towards
At those
and you'll see the sign.
The main
that
door.
makes those moments where it's like, oh crud, I
Try not to get lost.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly where.
I teach and I travel all over the place, so it's like, crap, where do I know you from?
I would not teach it.
So I've heard some of the stuff in other states, and it's like, well, nope. I see some of the paperwork, I'm combing through a document that's from New York, and I'm like, what were you thinking?
I just think you all get
All meetings across the board. It's funny, they get paid more up north than they get paid more everything.
from California. It's hard to get
So they're in bad news. Every time I'm seeing, please, we need you.
And they pay well too. They just have such strict standards and such strict requirements. You gotta take this test by CBS.
I heard about that.
Not many people can
years I worked with deaf hard of hearing. That's my specialty. Now I'm working more of all these specialties.
So I retired from the Marine Corps. So that's a separate family. She wants specialties. And yeah, not yet.
This is my firefighter. Fellow Marine, Charley, that's in the band as well.
We just happen to end up in the same place.
Ladies and gentlemen, we do have a putting contest going on right now in the west end of the ballroom. One putt for a chance to win a round of golf for 4. Thank you.
We've been married for about 3 years now. Just together, together. 5 years this summer. First time we met on this side of the family over in Toledo was around Thanksgiving. And really good. We were the front part of very good. He wasn't going to do it at first, but when my parents both laughed, he's like, pull over, we're going to class.
That's great. I love it.
Just don't know how certain people just
Oh, Uncle Charlie's got that.
Are you sitting over there?
Yeah, he's sitting over here. He's sitting on the other side.
Okay, that's
that way I can stretch out.
Oh no, you're fine. You're good.
So you guys are born and raised in this area?
He's born and raised in Brevard County. That's where we're from. I was born and raised in North Carolina, but I've been down here now since 10 years.
Brevard County, south of here, right? Down Sarasota.
East Coast.
Oh, okay, okay.
They're Space Coast.
Got it. Yes, I went to a school there. I went to the Equal Opportunity School there at the It's a nice place. Nice area.
It is a nice area. Yeah. He's grown up there all his life. My family's down. My parents' brother, they're down in Sarasota.
That's what I thought when we walked with your brother. I thought, yeah, I thought he was from Sarasota.
Yeah, he's from there.
But you guys live on the East Coast now?
Yeah, we're in Tyson.
Yeah, I know that is.
So we're in that borderline of different counties.
Nice.
It's nice. It's
It
pretty
is
good drive.
nowhere near the borderline of the county.
It's near the borderline.
It's not near the border.
The border to the other counties.
It doesn't
It is
matter.
not.
Oh, go get a drink.
It is nowhere near it.
Remember, you got to put up with me for 2.5 hours in the car home.
I can sleep.
What you didn't do this morning.
Putting contest going on right now in the banquet room, far west end. 1 stroke for a chance to win a round of golf for 4. We've already had several people make it. We'll have a putt off in a little bit. Thank you.
I haven't kept cash on me lately. Go ask your mother-in-law.
Oh, for a drink?
Fitness is a really nice lady. Really nice bartender. She's made nice guys. Mimosa? I figured because it's like orange juice.
That's the strongest thing they got.
That's the strongest thing they got. They trouble.
Well, they said there's like another like full bar, but I don't think it's part of the whole open bar. Taking advantage of what's free.
I remember my dad's story of how he went through their degrees instead of other.
So we got my camera connected to.
Story is the
Is it up and running yet? Okay.
Yep,
Hi, Grandma.
it's live.
I don't know if your if your grandma's actually watching it.
Not
Hey, what's
yet.
going on, man? How are you?
Hey, how's it going?
Good to see you, man.
She's waiting until she gets home from church.
Gotcha.
So-
They're going to do online church today, or
So this is what I'm running it off of, but it's going through YouTube.
yeah.
So it still has like the live chat, concurrent viewers. That's what's running on my phone probably.
You up on all this stuff, or
That's more her.
yeah?
So the microphone's coming from back here, but they're speaking into a microphone at the podium, so it should be fine.
yeah.
And then like if
You
I
can
wanted
definitely hear
to.
there's a putty tournament, though. I've heard.
And if I could use the same software to cut between multiple cameras or videos and stuff like
So
that.
cool. How long you had the camera and stuff?
I bought the camera back in March. It's a slightly different model than the one Uncle Charlie uses. And then I got a couple lenses for my birthday from my mom and her husband.
That's awesome. That's
What I'm
awesome.
using this zoom one for, so I can zoom in on the podium and refocus it on whoever's talking when Uncle Charlie gives his whole "I'm old" speech.
I know when they were talking about like your grandma can't come and stuff. We're like, well, how can we make her part of that? And then Winnie and I, and maybe Sue already had the idea. I don't know. We thought we got it. Was what we were saying. We're like, oh,
That's what Aunt Wendy said yesterday
yeah,
too.
it's like the perfect person, man. You know, I mean,
Well, got it all figured out. Got the cord in at the last minute to be able to do it Friday.
Yeah. Oh, you had to order the cord?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the storm delayed it. So then I'm like, okay, Uncle Charlie, do you have this cord? And he said yes, and then it got in the mail Friday.
Okay, that's cool. Is it Amazon or? What do we do without Amazon now, you know?
I have no idea.
Literally, man. I mean, yeah, I can go to Target or somewhere, but
Well,
they got everything.
Best Buy doesn't carry it.
No, I know.
Best Buy doesn't carry it. Target doesn't carry it. Office supply stores don't carry it.
Yeah. So it's just amazing nowadays versus like when I was growing up. I mean, I couldn't go find this cord. I'd have to go down to Best Buy or something. They'd have to like order it for me, or I'd look at a catalog somewhere, you know? Life
You're
is
really dating yourself.
What's that?
You're dating yourself.
No, not at all.
Hey, you're not the oldest one in the room.
Not by.
Not a lot. A lot.
You got more hair than most of them.
I had to come over. Luckily, that's a run in the family, you know? Reminds me of DJ a little bit with the hair up.
Sterling got them confused for a second. He saw Addison sitting back here with his back to the room, and he was like, I could have sworn DJ was wearing a black shirt today.
So the fire contest going on in the banquet room, far west
Cool, man.
end.
I'm glad you're able to do that. I know your grandma will
You
love
get a chance
it.
to win the
And
round
I
golf
sent it to
before.
you so she can give it
We've
to
already
you.
had several winners, so we'll have a cutoff later.
Even today after.
Please come out and participate. West end of the banquet room. Thank you.
I do.
You do?
She
Yeah.
closes, I open.
Yeah. So you got the alternating schedules. And
A lot of
everything.
the time, yeah.
Yeah. There's some freedom, I'm sure, you know.
Yeah.
You guys work 5 days a week, pretty much.
Sometimes 7.
Sometimes 7. Yeah. I'm
Some
sure
days 3.
crazy times coming up here with the holidays and everything.
Trying to get some time off.
Yeah. To go out of town or.
No, just a staycation.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with
Catch up
that.
on
Halloween party, Halloween horror night, that sort of thing.
Yeah, we went to Universal a couple weeks ago, and obviously we didn't do Halloween Horror Nights, but we'd like to, but it's just finding the time to go, night, staying over there, man, it's like arm and a leg.
Packers and Giants.
Unless you get a good floor to go somewhere.
Yeah.
Rogers.
We will, though, man. Good seeing you guys, man.
Yeah, good seeing you.
Quarterback.
I was confused for a second. He didn't have a beard last time I saw him. At least I don't think he did.
This is my boyfriend Addison.
Yeah.
This is my mother-in-law Teresa.
I don't think we've seen each other since your engagement party.
Yeah, it's been
It's a long time.
And then Katie, and can you remind me of Katie?
I asked the same thing when I walked in the door.
I am just so bad. So that's Steven. This is my mother-in-law Teresa. His wife is my cousin.
She's around somewhere taking pictures.
Katie. She's doing the pictures.
Putting contest is going on right now in the west end of the banquet room.
Yeah.
One stroke. You get it in, you get nothing.
I already did show and tell for Uncle
We've had
Tom.
several winners already,
Showing
so
off
we
the
will
chest
have a
hair.
cutoff
Big fan.
fairly soon. Thank you.
No, it's good. It's good. Good call. Yeah. You gotta show off the hair where you have it. Where I have it.
No, go ahead.
Go back for seconds. I said, should I go back for seconds before we get started? Do the button.
Oh, yeah, it's right in there.
You wanted your sons, right?
I hope not.
What does your husband do? Is he 100% of any of those?
That's Eric. That's the oldest. I'm married to Steve. He does each.
Oh, okay.
You're getting him confused with DJ, who's also wearing a man bun elsewhere. in the
They
party.
kind of look similar, right? But I don't, sorry about that.
No, you're good.
That's okay. I'm one of Aunt Susie from that side of the family.
Just along for the ride.
That's me, yes, two of us.
Still have the putting contest going on for about 5 more minutes. So if you haven't putted yet or tried, we have 5 more minutes and we'll close the putting. Once again, putting contest for around the golf. We do have several other people who have made it, so we will have a putt off. 5 minutes to enter the putt contest.
They put it out of place.
I thought I was running late, and I wasn't.
Can you pass that? There. And is there somebody sitting in that other chair? Okay. You. How about here? Somebody sitting here?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm assuming.
It's too fancy. I still want to know what that sauce is. Is it blue cheese?
That looks like breakfast.
But it's like cold.
Looks like Caesar.
Yeah, I know. It looks. It's not gravy. It looks cold. There's like condensation. I'll try whatever it is. I like just white. Bro, the blue cheese packets.
Are there people on the table?
Her and my soul.
I thought you guys were sitting at the Don't worry, I'll point the camera at the podium.
Just while I'm eating.
I'll just zoom in. Slow zoom. Yeah. I'll make sure it's like I got the plan. Yeah. And Sue told me to specifically do that.
And they picked whatever they wanted anyway.
She didn't even come over here. She's like, I trust you. Just do it. Yeah.
We need to do some.
I think I'll let her. Because I thought like where the
It's like a salad.
well, I thought where the napkins were. The live stream.
I thought it went in place the napkin was in the plate.
That's what I thought. Thank you so much.
That one is.
I don't feel like it's one time.
There used to be like a lazy Susan. Just spit the sauce in. I'm not saying grace or anything.
Oh, that's perfect.
Grace. She died 40 years ago.
Just when I thought I'd
Yeah, if there's a way to like nudge it over me without it spilling.
We've got 3 more minutes before the putting contest is going to close. So if you haven't tried your luck at putting, we'll have 3 more minutes and we'll close it and we'll have the putt off. Make a putt, get the putt off, or chance to have a couple of rounds of golf. Compliments of the club. Thank you. 3 more minutes.
It was always a back of the house kind of restaurant worker.
Never worked.
It builds stores.
I'll never.
That's awesome. They say, thank you. You're doing me a favor.
Salad, which one's really soup? Is that dessert?
I was just going to say whichever one works.
I think that's Caesar. That's kind of ranch. Oh yeah, ranch.
We stayed under the radar.
This is Sterling's second youngest, Charley's boys.
You missed third of kid. Kimmy's older than her.
Exactly, that's why he's the second youngest. I know I had to tiptoe around my word a little bit there.
Yeah, to find a party.
Good morning. It's so nice to see everybody here, all these faces, some from way back at old Dunedin Police Department days all the way up to today. It's really so nice to see everybody here. We're just going to kind of settle in and let everybody have their salads and visit, and in a little while we'll have a blessing before we open up the banquet table. After we have our lunch, then we're going to have lots of opportunities to be able to say hello to Charley and give them your best wishes and any gifts that you would like to present. We have both the microphone here at the table, as at the podium, as well as we're going to have a roaming one for those of you who don't want to get up or maybe are, you know, a little shy. And we'll come around and put it in your face and you can say something. So please enjoy yourselves. I'd like to introduce, this is Chuck Crosman, the general manager from the Dunedin Country Club, and
Good
he's going to
morning.
say a few words.
Welcome to Dunedin Golf Club, where you belong. Thank you for this lovely event. We've been planning it for quite some time, and all of you are honored guests, as we are honored to do the pleasure of having this retirement brunch here at the club. So, when we do go through the buffet, I will be calling out numbers, and or I might just visit the table and say you may go through the buffet line now. So please do not go through the buffet line till you see my face come to your table, all right? God bless you, have a great day, and congratulations to Charley. And those of you who won the putting contest, you made the putt, come see me. We're gonna have a putt off right now.
Time for the putt off. Bring your tickets on over to the putt off down in the end.
Putt off.
Looks like we are fifth. Assuming it goes right.
How are we at? There is an open bar. Oh, is it? At the end. Yes, really small one. Yeah, they have a. Weird wine and Oh yeah, Eric like walked in with a beer. Oh yeah. That was the first thing he did was got a beer.
Yeah, as soon as he realized it was open bar.
You like the ranch?
It wasn't alive.
I'll take some bread. Warm bread is a warm tummy. Okay, that's all I need to do. Pass that over.
Wait a minute, that goes on there. Yeah, it goes on here, right?
Yes,
Yeah, it
it
goes
goes
on
on
the
the
doily.
small one.
Grab the long
Butter, right?
Only because she just said it.
Oh, we're doing
Thank you. Is there butter in there?
I was going to call it the flowery bakery.
We got it. Thank you so much.
We got a rotation going. Okay, I won't take butter. Oh, I already said it. There's a single butter left. Yeah, every time I talk to Aunt Sue about it, it sounds like she's planning a wedding. She's like, I have a book, I have a seating chart, like everything. I'm like, every time I talk to her, same thing.
All I wanted to hear.
Giving me flashbacks. And then she sounded so stressed when Grandma finally said no to coming, and then she was like, what do you want it? Grandma? Yeah. But then it
Okay, you two, you and
I
the
told
son
you what it would take for you to be
whatever.
a kid.
beer is not tied.
You know the requirements, but they
Disconnects them.
He hates doesn't.
you know the pickle.
I love the bride. It's pretty down, especially if it's the princess. We all just dove into it.
Sterling, by the way.
I'm Sterling, I'm Marty.
Nice to meet you.
So you're a second son?
Yeah, I'm in the middle. It's one outside, actually. Because I have an older sister as well. She's my daughter.
Oh, okay.
So
She's exceptional.
she's an exception. I'm usually she once pointed out, I want to say, things like big middle child. You mean there is a middle child?
And I go way back to the
Right? Yeah.
way back to the Marine Corps. But we found each other through Sue. Coffee classes. It was so funny.
Just how I feel.
Yeah, how we like.
Yeah, it's funny how small the world is.
It is. I had no idea he was here. I just happened to be tired. That's how much.
Still way over like 16 and I'm like, no one after me. My brother, but he could turn me out enough. I don't think he would rat you out.
He's already sitting on the table. Yeah, he's the older.
The bald one.
Yeah, the bald one is the older one. And then the youngest brother, BJ, is sitting.
He has the most hair.
Yeah, he's got enough hair.
Yeah, now he has the most hair. Terry takes that small one.
Hey, I don't know.
Oh no, you're doing the best. Thank you. It is. Oh no, we've got volumized products going on here. I'm very thankful. It's got the dry shampoo, so you don't dry your hair. Take good care. Oh, I bet he'll eat your house on for dime size amount of conditioner. Don't think about it. Oh, I know. I'm imagining they got a sleeping train.
Haven't used it yet. Just pick some more up.
It's an issue every couple months.
A lot of boiling water.
Taking a shower yesterday. Water was almost up to my ankles. Walk out there.
At least like 4 times a week or something. Kind of help. You're still going to need to drain a little bit of your That's free advice next time you get to
Yeah, send it to Orlando.
I can drive home.
My salad. With this one. That's what makes it a salad. Okay.
Picking up just the tea. Anybody want coffee? Let me know. Coffee.
That's all you get. That's all you get. I was thinking about doing like the first step, just first step of the fling, but there are dancing instructors and there's Highland dance moms here and some of my old drumming buddies and all the cops just never would have let me forget about it. I'm usually the guy that MCs this type of thing, so I really don't know how to act. I have a quick disclaimer. I'll be saying a lot more later. I'm sorry, but if I skip a story, if I miss a story, if I miss a name, some people I'm going to mention, whether I mention you or not, just know that your presence here means more to me than I could ever say or I could ever express. Feel free to mingle with each other, and let's see, the guy in the pink shirt, pay about 10% of the things that he says about me. For God's sakes, keep Ryan Buckley away from the microphone. But thank you all for being here, and let's have a good time and enjoy your meal. Thank you.
somewhere. I will. Guess I picked the wrong time to get it. They'll just refill your like your cup and like, oh, you excited. Oh, that's easier. It's gonna try to turn around with a freaking background.
Because our daughter can't sit still, so we were like, finish line. We need like
That's cool.
That was a long hair.
I don't know. They are, I think so. Yeah, we're there. Katie's at the table too, right? Yeah. Katie's the missing person.
That's a salad.
Who said that there was long for it? No, someone around here, Walmart. It doesn't have to.
I don't think you decided what the salad was.
Because you asked you which one was the salad for.
I thought this was like dessert.
I just said whichever one works. Have the food with it.
Put it up anyway.
I'm gonna need a fork. Butter knife.
It's all going to the same place.
That's right. Here's good.
We try to be buddy-buddy to them too. I ain't touching that power line, but it's still charged.
So they can watch it. I just said for him, like, I'm going to rewind it when I get home. He's like, I don't get home. That's okay. Right now it's just showing. Diamond didn't want me to catch her. Oh, yeah.
assure you, I probably have a couple photos hiding on your people. It's the nature of the beast. You post the photos and people are like, how'd you get that?
Don't you let me catch you. I'll make it embarrassing.
Exactly. That one will find out straight into the garbage. There's some good photos that happen to be in the right spot at the right time when that pipe started, and then Uncle Charlie with the. I thought he was about to. I thought he was about to break out a jig and almost crying.
I had no idea what it was.
One of the things that he takes a lot of photos of is the Highland dances at the games. So that's what was a dancer about to break down. Oh yeah.
Oh, all right. I pretty well then.
We got you a chocolate donut. You've been driving for so long. You haven't like mastered the art of eating and driving at the same time.
Yeah, we were at the
Get some
our grandmother's
hash browns. These like which band?
I was able to take a couple bites, but that was good. What was this?
Probably fit around I thought you said retirement.
Oh, you were 13, we found it! So it's not assigned seating once we hit the table? Oh, I don't think so.
Everybody, this is my way of extension.
I was about to say that 1 year closer to having someone She has two. They came with her. I had no choice. Yeah. I'm a dog person.
She's got a little bit of she does silly
Like my dad, man.
I have one more. I have one
I think I trimmed it up too much. Well, when I go and shave the rest of it, it's right.
Bonnie, that's Charlie's sister. If she wouldn't mind at this time, she's going to come up and say a blessing as we open up the banquet table. So, Bonnie.
Dear God, Charlie is a lot of things. Beloved son, husband, father, brother. We thank you so much today for protecting him during his 30-plus years of law enforcement as he protected our community. And we can now add retiree to the list of things that he is to all of us. Thank you, Lord, for all of these people who have come today, family and friends, to celebrate my brother's retirement. I pray that you would bless this food to our bodies and bless the hands that prepared it. Amen.
And as Chuck had mentioned earlier, he's going to come around and kind of send all of the tables. So if you don't mind just waiting until he comes to your table, and then he will have you go by the banquet.
What did I miss? We're having we got a house that's never sold down.
What did she say about the
I don't know. He's having a fun time.
Wait for the guy comes
Oh, that was it.
Not really. So we opened a shop for classic cars.
He was just having a fun time.
It's not like a computer that you can take on the road and use. So we just have to carve out time to do shops and close down. How do you want to kind of get it up and running before you get it? Oh, yeah.
I gotta go say hi
Pizza does that, so I'm glad it wasn't me this time.
You guys are walking there. But I'm sure they probably did your I'm thinking, what I want to volunteer for this year. I don't know. You know, which job, there's so many people. Yeah, I might just volunteer for selling. Oh, he's up there. Or be one of the people who holds up to buy a sign. Oh my God. Bring my money yesterday. But they're. Oh, I already have. No, I did. I got it late. It's great. He already got his mic off. He said he laid down. That's pretty good. So I've been actually ordered asking. I want to get them. No, I can't remember. Follows me everywhere. I think the first four that followed me in the truck. He follows me right back I know, right? I should go, oh, I like this one. No, I don't. Replaying and bring that. Come on. Oh, right
It's worked out.
Let's see, umbrage I think they wear. Like a pinata.
Try that one. That's hard.
Where was it just? Leave no evidence.
Yeah, but imagine if they go to kill umbrage because they're werewolves and then he's cool now. And he's white.
And I have a speech test, so
And Jared's white. Saying umbrage is trans because at least but thank you. I think we do see you around after.
Fruit bowl. Nibble on some fruit.
I could be like the Geico commercial. Oh, you got the cookie.
That would be the. Give me a gentle break.
Reading the orders of things, I almost ripped the book in half a couple times.
Oh yeah. Yeah, right. I'm sure you can just jump in.
You're a Jets fan. I would
Gators both can get I like the reason they give me a reason to die.
Oh, did you put that out there? That's funny. He's gonna say, Beth, throw your hair out, wear flip-flops, and get a colonoscopy. Good table 13, the best table ever.
No, I know. I like it. Bounce around.
Is he going to be 4 times out
Are you opening it all this week?
Friday.
So you get someone to take your show.
Hopefully Pablo's doing inbound. I have vacation. I can sit in my spot. And Pablo doesn't go back to roommate with the other day.
I told him to go get the last line. He was going to
Day to get around.
He wants to.
I'll get you a glass of wine. You want a glass of wine? Yeah, I'll go get one. Give me something to do.
Yes.
We don't have any caffeine.
If you'd like to go through for vegetable, potato, another entree, please go through. Buffet's still open, so if you want to go through for a nice seconds, you can have seconds. It's all about family, right? We don't want any leftovers today, so let's eat up.
Yeah, no, I just know them because I eat it. You can tell the difference with local businesses that either you have to ask them for shell cake, otherwise they give you the powder. There's definitely a difference. That one has gotten worse. I used to eat there all the time. No, it's
walking through the hotel lobby, and you're just like in this random back so you're like stuck here for that, which is always awesome. Bro. Yeah, that's my friend. We've been in there a couple times. We try to go. Tyler does hosting there. So I guess he still goes like upstairs once a day. Does his little weight machine thing that he's had for like 15 years. Comes back up. Yeah, that's more working out than I do. Exactly. Like I'm telling you, that's why he's talking to me. He is 81 and 50. Back in December, we had a 80th birthday party. Just here in the Canadian capital. We had it over by the eBay farm.
Oh, yeah. Baby, I'll make it. It's just such a commitment. It's less of a commitment. Come back to Boston. They're in love. They got married. They had 2 kids. Sometime this week. It's close. So they fell in love with these 2 boyfriends. That girl. That's why I know what you're on. I know what you're at. What do you got left? It's great. I would talk to you. I've never seen a partnership be for $1 million hours. I've had a writer's sit down right here. They get my old credit.
As soon as I see someone go for a cupcake, I'll walk there.
You just don't want to be the first one.
I'll follow you. I saw when I came in, I'm like,
The first things I saw, cookies and then cupcakes.
yeah. And I'm thinking, oh my god, wow.
Well, at first, I put like the directions here into my phone and it took the driving and we pulled in and we're like, this doesn't look right. This is a tiny
Well, if you
building.
say, Siri, take me to the Dunning, I'm taking bring you to Dunning Golf at night. Yeah, it's great. I golfed here before. It's gotta be it.
Yeah. I put that in, but it took us to the driving range. We like did a loop around the parking lot and I was this doesn't look right. Everybody's not gonna fit in that tiny building. Right. And then just kept driving down the road and I was like, this doesn't look right. Then we saw the sign for it. I think this is the right place.
There we go. Now you
I saw Kate and I was like, because there's no signs for the event. So I was getting
Trying to throw me in with that. Yeah, that's the next
done.
At least you didn't do that.
You want another lens? I have a few more. You know what? I should have asked Uncle Charlie if I could borrow his extra.
I think that one's working.
That maybe my 30th.
Oh, the one in the room, but not the one in the hall. Is that where you guys, where did you guys go? What don't you were there, you know? I think it was at Pioneer here.
Uncle Tom was doing it. His head was just like a blurry blob at it. Other people
Yeah. I mean, you can. Just watch your language.
Good so far.
Really should have had too many martinis last night.
I don't know if you haven't even
Does anyone want
me. I am the one who just double checking before it doesn't cut out. I don't know. I think I should just turn this in with my open.
He lost a lot of weight. He was there meeting with
I'm gonna go get a beer.
He gave $5,000 to Harvard.
Don't give that guy my last dollar.
That was nice.
You did great for sure.
I did.
Yeah, because he was turning over stuff over about it.
No, but rice. That was rice. Honey was rice.
Oh, was it rice?
It might be rice.
He was turning up all that trouble on the radio.
Yeah, honey was rice.
That's what I'm saying. Here comes the coffee.
Oh, it's getting closer.
Yeah, it's crazy.
How can I help you? Oh, well, never.
It's a gallon of red. Is that the F? Oh, wait.
If I take this out of here, can you still hear me? Okay. So, oh yes, I have to bring one of these up here. So everybody give a cheer to Charley. So you know we're all going to be able to have an opportunity to come up and say a few words for Charley. I thought I would start, and then our son Sterling is going to speak for our family, and John is going to speak for the Street family, and we're going to kind of pass the microphone around. We'll go over to the Schroeder family if anybody, that's my family, but we don't sprechen die Deutsch, but that's about it. I'll have to ask Kelly and Stefan to help me with that part. But I'm not the kind of person to really get up and spill my guts, you know, and be very personal, and I'm, you know, not really that way. So I'm going to just say two things, and then I'm going to read a little bit. So the two things that I have to say to you, Charley, are, number one, I want to thank you. I feel, especially in this last week, we've had a lot of things transpire, and our law enforcement family and friends know what I'm talking about, and it's been a difficult week in addition to this retirement. So one of the things that I've noticed about Charley, and I've known him now, we're going on about almost 40 years. Yes, 40 years, I did say that. But one of the things that I noticed about Charley in these past few days, and even recently, is that Charley can be in a room with 140 people and make you feel like you are the only person in the room. And so that is one thing that I do want to say about you. The other thing that I want to say about Charley is I want to thank you. I know that over your 30 plus years in law enforcement and even in the Marine Corps, your number one thing is your family and your family safety and your deputies and your deputies' safety. And I know from the bottom of my heart that that is what has guided him for the past 30 plus years. He never left the house without his vest, ever. Never, ever, 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 ever. So, yeah, I respect that. So a lot of you are probably wondering what brought Charley here today. How did we get here almost 4 years later? Yeah, car, maybe, you know. But, so Charley and I met on a blind date. Yes, I was blind. It was a blind date while attending St. Pete College. And we dated for a little over 2 months. Yes, I did say 2 months before Charley proposed to me. Yeah, so when Charley sees something he wants, you all know it, he goes for it, and he did, right? So he was on what was called delayed entry for the Marine Corps. And so he knew what he wanted and he had to move fast. So not long afterwards, he headed off to Paris Island. And the next stop was the School of Music in Virginia. Well, I stayed in Florida to finish my associate's degree. And with hard work and determination, this led us to the altar with the words, I do. So we spent our first 6 years of marriage as a Marine Corps family in California. Everybody say it together, oorah! Oorah! It was there that our first 2 children were born. And knowing that Charley was going to have to do an overseas assignment, soon he began to consider what was best, again, for our family. And it was one of the bravest decisions that Charley has ever had to make. So we loaded up Eric and Kimmy, our first 2 children, and we headed back home to Florida. To stay afloat, Charley took on a few part-time jobs while I began working at Honeywell. And meanwhile, Charley had a passion to begin a career in law enforcement. And with a tremendous amount of support from our family, he was fortunate to be hired by the Dunedin Police Department. Upon graduation, he was fortunate to be hired, yeah, you know, I'm getting old, sorry, 40 years. So a few years later, our son Sterling was born. And I'm probably skipping a lot and moving things around, and you know, but that's what happens. So Sterling was born. And Sterling was only 4 months old when the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office absorbed the Dunedin Police Department. Okay, some of you may remember Charley standing there with Sterling in the stroller at the curb with the, ooh, you know, PCSO, let's go, you know. So now it was my turn to change my career path, and I decided to return to school to pursue a career in elementary education. And halfway through completion, our son, DJ, was born. Charley was my cheerleader, while I second-guessed juggling 4 children in college. But with his continued support, I graduated and was hired with Pinellas County Schools. And in December of 2020, the threat of COVID helped me to decide to retire from the school system. And every once in a while, I would entice Charley. I'm like, no, this is not so bad. You need to come on over here, you know. But he's like, no. He showed his loyalty and his commitment to his fellow officers. He said, I am going to the last day. I am doing this because I love it. And now he's completing 27 plus years with the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office. Yes, thank you. So when I think of Charley, Yes, over the years I have to say. Oh, I'll just tell you a really quick story that's funny since that just made me think of it. So the pigs is a joke. I think you get it. And he used to do a little undercover in the park and hammock, you know, to catch the, well, you know, the fun guys. And, and I bought him a pig shirt. His lieutenant told him, "You go home and change that shirt. It's a little too obvious." But when I think of Charley, I think of two words. Semper Fidelis. Always faithful. Thank you for your love and your support to me and your family and your coworkers and your friends and all of our community, Dunedin community, and to the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office. Thank you. I do have just a small thing for you if you would come up. It's very tiny. We don't, 40 years you stop, it's bubble gum machine kind of stuff, so it's not much, but here you go.
I'm not going to say it, but when it's my turn, it's not my turn.
Semper Fi. As you can see, we kind of have a big family. Lots of friends and family and community support here. So we have lots of opportunity for many people today to come up. And if you're shy, I'm going to come around with a roaming microphone. So don't think you're going to get out of this. But I would like for our son Sterling to come up and speak for our children.
Testing? Okay. So you'll all have to excuse me. I did not get the public speaking gene from either my mother or my father. So I will be looking down reading this the entire time. But as my mom said, I am speaking for both my brothers and my sister as well, who's not able to come tonight. And most and foremost, I want to thank you all for coming. And today I couldn't be more proud of my dad. After 30 years, putting his safety and well-being at risk for his community, he can now retire knowing the job was well done. Some of my earliest memories were as a child waiting by the door every day to see the strongest man I will have ever known come through that door. Full uniform, rifle bag in hand, and a sense of accomplishment coming from him, I would ask the same question every day. Did you catch the bad guy? And as a child, I didn't understand the weight of the job. I didn't get the mental and physical toll it must take to strap on your vest and kiss your wife and children goodbye every day, knowing that it could be for the last time. And yet, he still went out day after day to make our world a better and safer place. Words cannot express the sense of pride I have to be able to call Charley Street my dad. A man who took a pledge over 30 years ago to keep this country safe. A man who stuck to that pledge every day. And to all those here today, active and retired military and first responders alike, I thank you sincerely and from the bottom of my heart for what you have done and what you still currently do. I thank God for each and every one of you, and I praise God for allowing me to have been raised by my dad. A man who I will always look at like that little kid waiting at the door. Strong, determined, and accomplished.
you sing? Throw that out there. But the family continues to grow. We do have brothers and a sister of Charley's that would like to speak, and so I'd ask for John to please come up. Don is going to come up first. His senior brother.
Okay, here we go. I'm not quite as eloquent as my sister-in-law. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Don, I'm the oldest. The rules were made for me. And if you remember, if you've seen the t-shirt advertised with that slogan on it, the rest of it is the middle child says, you know, they buy it, the rules bypass me. And then the youngest one is, the rules weren't made for me, or, you know, I get to break the rules. And that's the way it sort of worked in our family a little bit. Since neither of our parents are still alive, I guess I qualify as the oldest in the family, and I've known Charley probably longer than most of you in the room, other than my brother and sister. There are too many funny stories to tell, and we don't have enough time today to tell them all. And I'm sure he'll throw in a few about him and I. There's one slide up here if you've been watching the pictures. There's one where he's standing in front of the Dunedin Museum in uniform. And I think that's appropriate, not because I think he's old and decrepit, although he will be, I won't mention how old this year, but it's because he's unique. Because if you think about it, museums are for unique things in life, and he is a unique feature of Dunedin and has been for a very long time. Not only with the police department and the sheriffs, but with the high school band, with a lot of other activities in town, as a leader, as an example to young people and so on. So there should be an exhibit in the Dunedin Museum that features my brother. And I don't think it should be, you know, anything elaborate. It's just something that says, you know, here's somebody that this city is proud of and is thankful for his service to us and to the citizens. And that's about it. I'm going to throw it at John now because all right, John, you're up. Test. I was waiting for the appropriate slide to come around. The one that's photoshopped with the T.J. Hooker cast and crew. Needless to say, Charley didn't know that most of these pictures were going to be in there. He sent me a bunch, and Sue sent me a bunch, and I got some other ones. But most of them were all like this law enforcement one. That's what Charley thought was going to be rolling on the screen today. Needless to say, he wasn't giving away quite that easy. Later on, when it breaks up, if anybody needs any more information on any of these pictures, any of these interesting pictures, just ask him or ask any of the rest of the family. They'll certainly know. Sue, who I'm going to go off on a tangent here. I'm surprised that Sue has spoken to me for the last 4 years. Because when they got married at, well, not at the wedding, but at the reception, which was out on the beach. I can't remember exactly where it was. Dolphin Beach Resort, okay. The reception was there, and that was also where they were staying that night. And of course,
she knows what's coming. They were also staying there after the reception. So of course, as part of the wedding party, it was my duty to make sure that they had an interesting after reception period. And so somehow we managed to get the key to both their room and also their car. Bonnie will remember this because she helped. I can't remember who else was helping us. You and me and did Pat help with that? Did you help decorate the car? Yeah, we filled the car full of balloons and we wrapped it up in toilet paper and stuff. But that's not the worst. The worst was when we got up into their room and I introduced the rest of the people to the concept of short sheeting a bed. Anybody who doesn't know, ask somebody, they'll tell you what that is. So we short sheeted the bed. But the reason why I don't know why Sue speaks to me to this day is that I removed the handle from the hot faucet in the shower. And so consequently, they had no hot water. She knows this a long time ago. That's just a little aside for Sue. One of the things that Sue said was that Charley always knew what he wanted and always went for it. But he didn't always know that he wanted to be a Marine musician. Because his initial stop at a military recruiting facility was with the United States Army. Do we have any Army veterans? Hoorah. Hoorah, whatever you say. A lot of respect for the Army. I was in Marine aviation, so I didn't spend a lot of time where I would have to interact with the Army, but I have great respect for them. Our dad served in the Army Air Force, so I have great respect. At the time when Charley was pursuing, starting to get interested along those lines, I guess he had seen one of the Army bands was on tour, as I recall, somewhere in like Daytona Beach or something, and had been impressed. And anybody who's ever seen a military band, regardless of the branch, knows that they're all very impressive. And among other things, because they all go to the same school. It's the Armed Forces School of Music, right? Correct? So you get pretty much the same thing. When he was going through this, I was taking a break, a forced break from my aviation duties to do a tour of recruiting duty, Marine Corps recruiting. So Charley calls me up one day, and he breaks this news to me that he's talking to the Army recruiter about going in the Army band. And of course I said, great, right? I went, but I was cool. I was cool with it because I knew he was, it's what he wanted to do and everything. Well, unfortunately, when he got to the point where he had to make the decision, he suddenly finds out that the Army has an enlistment freeze on for musicians, and they couldn't enlist him with a guarantee for the music program. So, of course, they went to Plan B, and in my having been on recruiting duty, we always had a backup for something that fell through. The backup plan was, well, just go ahead and sign up to the list. You go to boot camp. When you come out, you can get your audition, and you'll be a shoo-in because you played in the high school band. You did 2 years at, I think 2 years at JC, did a lot of band, played in the city band here. He was an accomplished musician, so it's not going to be a problem. But he's, in the back of his head, he's going, nah. We got a guarantee or I'm not doing it. So he went back home, and I guess went and talked to the local recruiter, and the local recruiter went, go talk to the Marines. Consequently, the Marines happened to be hiring percussionists, I guess, or musicians at the time, and that's how he happened to get there. So I think it was a good decision. He'd have been good either way, just because of who he is and how he is. He'd have probably owned the Army band. I mean, You know. Only had one more thing to say. I never knew Charlie knew so many people and had so many friends, and then it dawned on me. So I just want to make sure that everybody understands. He's retired now, okay? He can't fix any more tickets.
Hi, everyone. I'm Bonnie, the only girl in the family. Charlie was the sister I always wanted. After two big brothers, you know, come on. Hence, when we were little, I started calling him Betty. And so, it's my little pet name for him. The sister I always wanted. Anyway, two things. Well, those of you who know me, I'm rarely at a loss for words, but yeah, I'm the quiet one. First of all, in spite of anything you have heard in the past or may hear in the future, maybe even today, he slammed his own left thumb in a car door when I was 4 and he was 2 in the little village of Pewaukee, Wisconsin, just outside Milwaukee before we moved to Florida in 1966. This has been a story that has taken on epic, legendary proportions. He continues to say that I slammed his thumb in the door, but I'm here to tell you the truth today. I tried to close the door for him. He said, no, I want to do it. Okay, go ahead, and he slammed his own thumb in the door. But has been accusing me for the past, 50 or some years? Anyway, so the truth is from me. Anyway, the second thing I want to say, if I can get this out, is, one time a few years ago, Charlie told me that he considered me his first best friend. And that, I had never heard him say that before, and that meant so much to me. I mean, we like to say we fought like cats and dogs when we were growing up. When we were both in the Dunedin High School band, I thought he was like the tag along. You know, we'd go out after the football games and he had to tag along. And then once I became an adult, and especially once I moved back here in 2001 to Florida, I realized that all of those friends that we had in band that I thought were my friends, they're both of our friends. They were all of our friends. And today we are so close. He helped me through the hardest thing I've ever had to go through in my life, which was stage 3 ovarian cancer. I was diagnosed 2 years ago, and Charlie, he was with me by my side every step of the way. In fact, he went with me to several of my doctor's appointments at Moffitt Cancer Center, and he had his own little notebook that he took every time we went, and he wrote down, questions, answers. He kept all the little stickers saying I was pre-screened because we had to be asked COVID questions every single time. He was the second set of ears, and there was one particular time when we left and we were going down in the elevator, and I started crying, and I said, well, the doctor said this, and he's like, no, this is actually what he said. And so he was always, he just helped me through. And Sue, one of the reasons that she retired early from teaching, she said it was because it was to help me through my journey. And so I could not have done it with either one of them. And Charlie is my best friend. He's, I don't feel like I'm saying any of this very well. But anyway, and I've been cancer-free for almost a year and a half. And so, thank you. And I know it's because of the absolutely tremendous support of my family and friends and prayers, and Charlie and Sue were right up there as my #1 cheerleaders. Anyway, love you. I'm super jealous of you retiring. And he's going to be 60 on November 6th. 60!
But just remember, you'll always be older than me. Okay, so we made it through the Street family, I think, unless there's anyone else from the Street family that wants to stand up or bring the microphone. Bob says no, please no. Oh, you got it, I got you. Schroeder family. This is my brother, Mike. I've known him for a few years, you know, so and like in Charlie's family, sorry, Mike, he was the only boy of the 3 girls where Charlie had. So, my brother Mike.
Always be older than me. So, I'll keep it quick. I know there's a lot of people here to talk. But I think it's a common message here that there's 2 people. It takes 2. They don't give up on anything. I don't know any of the people that he worked with. I never heard any of the stories. I just know that he took care of you guys and women, like he takes care of my sister, that everybody's good. So appreciate what you did for the community. I always appreciate what you do for the family. He's always there. I don't know how he does it. Now he's got more time, so need more help. So anyway, I appreciate it. I love you guys. And the 2. I don't know how my sister dealt with that for so many years. And the kids, that's amazing what they've accomplished. So thank you. I love you. Here comes my favorite little sister.
So now all y'all are gonna be all older than me all the time, so I'm good with that. I'm not really good at this either, but I do have to say, Sue mentioned that Charlie and they met on a blind date, and I was there at the door to welcome them as a very obnoxious 10-year-old, crawling on all 4s, barking like a dog, because, you know, blind people need seeing eye dogs. So I was there for them from the very beginning, very supportive. But when Sue met Charlie, I didn't just gain a brother-in-law, I gained a whole family. Charlie is more like another brother to me, always has been. He's always been so good to me, even when I was young and obnoxious. And now when I'm older, but younger than them and obnoxious, he's always been so good to us and to my kids. And I've met all of Charlie's family. It just became one giant family. And we all take care of each other, just like Charlie takes care of everybody. Just one of the most selfless people that I've ever met. And he's always there. And he's always there every time something happened to one of my kids. Sometimes I call my big sister, but a lot of times I call my other big brother. And he'd be there all the time. And I appreciate it so much. And just one stand-up guy. Just takes care of everybody. Like Sue said, there could be so many people in the room, and he makes the time. So I appreciate it, and we love you so much.
Okay, so I think we have made it through our immediate family, unless there's anyone else that I didn't know and wants to kind of claim themselves as our son or daughter or something, because, like, you know, obviously we have them. It happens, but Lieutenant Buckley, if you don't mind. Oh yeah, it gets good now. It gets really good now, so yes.
Okay. I'm used to talking to deputies who have to listen to me. Closer? You can hear me? So, Charlie, you have your keys ready? What happens when I'm unscripted? Because I'm unscripted right now. Yeah, so during read-off, I would talk about whatever when I'm addressing Debbie. Put that down. So, yeah. Where was I? Yeah, see, that's what happens. I get in a tangent, something happens, and I'm off forever. So one of the things that we're going to do is present him with a shadow box, which is a token of appreciation. Don't make me get upset. We get emotional. I thought we've had a rough month. We've actually had a pretty rough time a couple times on our shift. Charlie's definitely got me through. I get upset. One of the worst things in my career that happened, I was wasn't the first line of duty death at the sheriff's office. It was a guy that worked with Charley. That was a dark day, and I had a lot of sergeants that helped me out with that. I had other officers, lieutenants that helped me through that day. But it was even the days beyond that that were very difficult. We had a lot of support from the agency immediately for us, and of course, Deputy Bagley's family. And getting through the service was very difficult, and there was a lot of times that Charley was just a rock. And I don't think people know this, but so if you went to that funeral, there was a point in time where Deputy Bagley's wife came out, and she wasn't supposed to be out there point in time, but obviously she goes out to the casket. And I'm like, okay, we're sitting behind the family, there's thousands of cops there and everybody else, and there's a voice that was behind me, and it was our lieutenant. And I hear, on your feet. All of a sudden, 1,000 cops stood up. So I'm standing up. We're standing there, and she's out there. Usually stuff like that, you have like color guards kind of going in and do. And all of a sudden, we're there for like a minute or so. And I'm like, we doing each other. We're supporting everybody now. And I was like, man, it just, it was a little thing like that, but it was 100 little things that happened. You got talking about this. That happened through the course of that time, where one of the things I would say about Charley is like he had this very strong sense of right and wrong, and I just knew it for the right reason. And there was other things we discussed and went through as a shift that was very difficult for that period of time that he was walking for, and something I really appreciate. So I'm gonna switch gears now so that I don't cry in front of everybody. The other thing is that I think now I'm switching to something that's not so heavy. I apologize for that, but I thought it was important. The jet skiers of Dunedin Causeway are not going to know what to do, okay? They get periodically stopped by the Marine unit when they can get there because they got a lot of coastline in Pinellas County. So when we do traffic stops, we give our call sign and then we say 10 to 50 each traffic stop. So I hear Dunedin 10 Alpha, 10 to 50 on jet ski, and I'm like, what? And he would continuously do this on the weekends and whatnot. I finally came to him, how in the hell are you pulling over jet skis? And he's like, I go out there and I wave them in. 3 and 4 times a day. And I'm like, they're actually coming in? He goes, yeah. I'm like, so the other thing is that I think that the residents of Dunedin, now I got my stride. You need to get your keys going. The residents of Dunedin are allowed to drive golf carts. Okay? To this day, because it's not my job, I don't know what the regulations are and I don't care. But he knows, because that's the other half of his day. You hear, I'll be 10-50 on a golf cart. Well, some people, what are they doing? They're speeding on a golf cart, but he knows the roads or whatever they're supposed to do, and they're gonna miss your enforcement. The other last thing is you weren't there the other day. I had to go to Stephen Brennan's house. Thank you very much. And because Sergeant Williams is, I'm not bald, but obviously shaves his head on purpose because it's not bald, right? He thought Sergeant Williams was Charley, because Charlie's dealt with me before. This guy, like AID, Captain Carey, I'm pretty sure you're familiar with Stephen Brennan. AID hangs up on him, I think, 3 times a week. He thought Keith was you. And he's like, he tells me, he goes, I like you. He points at Keith, I don't like that guy at all. I'm like, you don't even know that guy. Oh, it's the other bald sergeant. No, that's Sergeant Street, he's not here. Anyway, shake the keys, I'm hungry. So anyway, so this is a shadow box that we as an agency and Charlie's friends at both of them had made. And pretty much most of what's in it is obviously provided by the sheriff, which is very gracious. It's a lot of expensive facilities. But basically, collection's taken up, and it's a shadow box that represents a little bit of what he put. None of the sheriff's got one of the original patches, which are very almost impossible to find. New patches, sure. So, with the gratitude of your coworkers that you can do this. So who are we calling up next? Who's going to follow that?
Janet wants to go. I know Janet wants to go.
Okay, wait. You can come up. I'm gonna warm up the crowd for you. So, Charley and I were Dunedin cops together, and one of the things, that's okay, come on. You're okay, it's safe. It's safe. I know you have difficulty speaking in front of people. You have difficulty, I know. So, anyway, when we were at Dunedin cops, we had a special enforcement unit. Yeah, bring me one. And one of the things we did is, as his wife had already said, we worked in the parks, which was in a park. Okay, cool. So what we would do is we would dress in regular clothes. I was like 23 years old. I didn't know what I was doing. Charlie's just like, go in there, because Charlie had been doing it for a while. And I didn't like it, because you'd have to go in there and like wait for some guy to look like your dad to grab you, and then you would arrest him. And it was really awkward, and I didn't like doing it. And they were talking to me like, I would talk to a woman at a bar, and I'm like, this feels very strange. I came up with the idea, I think Charley loved it, where I go, you know what, I'm kind of tired of getting molested. So, Berlin Creek is all woods, and so I said, does everybody have camouflage? And they did. And I go, and our sergeant was off, Greg Mason was off, that's why we got away with it. And so I have a picture somewhere, I should have brought it in, but we all put on camouflage, so instead of going in and being like a decoy, we went in and hid in the trees. And it was highly successful. Nobody had to get grabbed. Bill Murray didn't have to get grabbed. It was awesome, right? Greg Mason comes in, sees a picture of us all, dressed out in camo, and he's like, "Oh, this was a funny story." All right, listen, it's a tough crowd, okay? All right. I'm gonna go get a scotch.
I don't even know where to start. This is, I'm Jana. Perry, I've known Charley 22 years. He was, when I was a new recruit, he was my FTO for 4 hours, and I almost quit. And everybody kept telling me, Charley's your FTO? And I'm like, yeah. But immediately, we headed off. Oh my God, thank you so much. Oh, by the way, I apologize to the woman that walked into the ladies' room. I'm good, I know what room I need to go into. Screaming! 55 years old, I know where to pee. Just saying. Why I'm not a member. By the way, you do look better in a skirt than I ever will. Belt, skirt, whatever. I care. Not really a tough crowd, sir. I'm killing it. Killing it up here. So on a serious note, Charley saw me through my entire career. He was a corporal, sergeant, one of my best friends. He saw me through the death of both my parents, death of my niece, members of the sheriff's office that we've lost, from Darren Ho to sit here and name them. But you've always been there with that gentle way, your gentle touch. There's even though we didn't work together for years because you were impossible, and I wasn't going, Jan, will you be my corporal? No. So close to retirement, so close. It's not that I didn't want to work for you, just couldn't. I would get in trouble because I would use the radio as my own personal PA, like my telephone call, like Dunedin so-and-so, and then he'd be, anyway. But even though it didn't work for you, you know, you were always in my corner, always a friend. When I did stand-up, obviously so successful doing that. Some other lesbian got my job. What can I say? Ellen, we all hate her. Don't lie. Whatever. She's done now, though, so I only have 5 more years. Then we're gonna pursue that. But you came to see me when I was doing stand-up, and you did all that, and you know, I'm so happy for you, all the kids, because you guys were little itty bitty things. When we met, he had more hair, you know, but I just want to say thank you for everything you've done. This is a great time, make a lot of memories, and I hope you live a long, happy retirement. Don't forget me, that's it, don't forget any of us, okay? Okay. The beer is over there.
And yes, that was the one and only time I ever got drunk. Coconuts. Yes, she's a wonderful influence, I'm telling you. Yeah, let's take a walk on the beach. I can't get in the car yet, Charlie. Whew. You're killing me, Jana. You're killing me. A lot of great family and friends, and I know there are some more in our law enforcement family, and I am going to start coming around with the mic floats around, so unless you want to come on up, yes, that's what I thought. Come on up, thank you. Yep. I'll let you introduce yourself.
I'm nobody. Yeah. I'm Jeff Phillips. I worked with Charley for quite a while. I think it was John said that you didn't know he had so many friends. I just want to let you know, Sue gave me $50 to be here. I don't know the rest of you got paid, but I want to thank you for having me. Okay, now I first met Charley when he was a deputy. He was working Dunedin. He just got transferred. We were 56 and talking to each other. And he was going down to, I think, economic crimes or something. Shortly thereafter, he got promoted. I went on my way, and then eventually I ended up South County, where I ended up working with Charley, and we sergeants together in South County. During that time, I grew to really appreciate Charley's wisdom. And there was a time that things would happen, and I'd say, Charley, I need the duct tape. My head's going to explode. So, to help Charley out, I have got a roll of duct tape for him. Now, it's probably a little late in your career. Come on up here for a second. A little late in the career, but the duct tape is there. So things progressed a little bit. I got beyond duct tape, and there's one day I called him and said, Charley, do you have your collar? He goes, what's up? Then we would talk. And it seemed like almost a daily occurrence that I needed a collar. So, for those of you who are still employed, I'm going to let you know the statute of limitations on the shirt has expired. I cannot be charged with petty theft. That is a uniform shirt, and the white collar actually came from an obsolete white uniform shirt. Because, you know, a little old, a little new, Charley's going to be old soon, so we can do that. Now, the last thing I want to give Charley, I am not real creative. I don't think of stuff on my own that often. So when I retired, Charley gave me a watch. And on the watch, he had it engraved. Semper Obligator.
like Burnett, I don't speak Latin. Anyway, the inside joke is always deviant. I'll let Charlie explain that. So what I want to do, Charlie, is I want to give you a gift. Nothing special, it's just a knife, but on it, it says Semper Ibi, always there. Charlie, you were always there for me, and I want to give this to you.
Let me just really quick. Really quick, I'll tell the Jeff Phillips, Semper Oblig, always deviant. We had a captain in the South County, remain nameless, he who will remain nameless. He called a meeting with the major. He was the major then? He was the major then, right? So he called a meeting of all the sergeants and lieutenants, all of us, at the medical examiner's room, classroom. All the sergeants and lieutenants in uniform were in this room. And what it was turned into a bloodletting, a mass beating of the sergeants and lieutenants. And this major was just very upset with the deviant behavior of the deputies. And you supervisors better get a grip on the deviant behavior of the deputies. And, wow, and very inspiring, very, very motivating speech. And as the years went on, Jeff and I were like the last two survivors of that massacre, and we had fond memories of it. So of course, when he retired, I had to get him to watch Inscribed Always Deviant. Got a good laugh at the time. So that's the end of that story. So, the community. Would anybody from the community like to come up and say great things about me? No. Peter's shaking his head. No. Yeah, get out my wallet. Yeah, so nobody wants to say anything nice about me. So.
We gotta take her.
The guy in pink. You only listen to the guy in pink.
Yes, the guy in pink. Okay, so this is the roaming mic. So if you don't come up to the actual microphone, you get the roaming mic.
Okay, so I get to roam. So I'm going to roam. I am Pat, and I've known Charlie for 47 years. We were younglings together, and we were in music, and we were drummers, and we were looking at life from a very young age and wondering what our life was going to end up being. What I'm thankful for is that I'm the youngest of 8 kids in my family, and I really have 9 kids in my family because I got a brother called Charley, and we were Marines together. He was a sergeant and I was a private. He opened his door to the private once he came out of boot camp and said, "You're in California now, you come into here," and I looked as dorky as could be. USMC socks all the way up to my knees, red and yellow, and my hair was nothing was there. But Charlie took care of me, got me settled, and got my wife out there shortly thereafter. He's always been my brother. To this day, we share each other, and we communicate, and we're there for each other. And I know he was a good cop because he was always a good Marine, and he's a smart guy. He actually came up last February. My daughter got married, and there was only one person I wanted to take pictures, and it was Charlie. The Charlie came up for a week, and we had a wonderful week together. He took beautiful pictures, got to know my daughter, knows my son. He's the godfather of my son. Before he left, he gave me a coin, a St. Michael coin, and a sheriff's office peacemaker's coin. I shared with him a coin that we both have our coins together in our pockets all the time. So, really cool guy, great family, and I'm honored to know him as a friend. My top.
All right, hello everybody. My name's Carl. I'm recently retired from the sheriff's office, and I have known Charlie for 23 years. So I think it's a testament. He's got a beautiful, wonderful family, supportive family. I think that in itself is a testament. So God bless you. That's all I can say about that. Friends and family from the community. Obviously, you got a lot here from that. Law enforcement is a family. It's an extended family. That's the way I've always looked at it. And I thought it was. So those of us that work together, we created an extended family. There's a bond there that cannot be replaced. People have talked and said things about Charley being a rock and supportive and helpful, and he's truly been an influence for me throughout my time. When we first started out, he came over from Dunedin, and I came over from another department. He came over 95, I came over 97. About 2 years after that is when we met. And we both became FDOs at the time, and had a lot of stories, and a lot of times that we bonded together over different issues that would come up. But he was always someone that I could go to and ask questions, run questions by, and discuss things, work things out, problem solve. It didn't stop there. I became corporal. He was always available for me to call and ask questions. The sergeant, he was a senior sergeant. It was only natural to talk to her, ask her questions. So throughout my, like I said, throughout my entire career, he's been an inspiration, someone I looked up to, someone I admired. So you carry yourself in the job. So that's all I can say. We became good friends after that, and I don't really have a lot of stories that I think is good to share with some members here. But just one, someone mentioned about Charley in the pictures. He is a phenomenal photographer. So I will share one story. My daughter was in marching band as well. And they have competitions where marching bands of all the schools come together, and Charley was there taking pictures. And I'll admit it is kind of my fault, but my daughter was out there, and Charley was going to take pictures and help out take pictures and volunteer to take pictures for me. There's another girl that looked like my daughter's uniform, which is all my crap on. They all look alike. So he's like, "Is that your daughter?" I'm like, "Yeah." So he took a bunch of pictures of girls, not even my daughter. And he never let me live that down. So anyways, that's all I got.
Yes, thank you, Izzy. He's a good friend.
Hello, my name is Israel. They call me Izzy. I know Charley in the other aspect that he's no officer, he's the coach. Coach Charley. We met at the United States Soccer Club when my son Arturo went to try out. So basically, Arturo and DJ, they grew up together for so many years on that club. When first Charley started coaching, like us he was good, but he wasn't that great. So of course, you know, somebody had to help him. So I raised my hand. I said, yeah, I'm trying to losing all these games, man. So, so I'll tell you what to do, and you translate. You tell kids in English what you need to say. I do the line up. But no, it's he's been a great influence to all the boys that we coach together. A good example. Somebody that you look up to. I did that. He was somebody that helped me with my temper because I was like the Chihuahua barking dog with the other coaches. Like I'm trying to fight like half of them, and he's like, just scolding me. I'm like, sit down. But and at some point, you know, our director of coaching left. Half of our team left. He decided to go with DJ to another club, and I started coaching by myself. I didn't have Charley anymore. It was very difficult. I remember texting him and telling him, man, like, I miss you. I miss you. I'm gonna get a red card in here, you know, here. Like, I miss you a lot. Eventually I get to meet, you know, all his family. My girls, they love Sue, they call it Gigi. They always, Gigi, I want to see Gigi, Coach Charley. He's he's my son's godfather. If I have to choose somebody for my son, it will be him. A good example. I love him as like a father. I love him like a brother. He's my compadre, by the way. And yeah, everybody knows you for, you know, like the deputy sergeant coach. You're a great coach, and I love you.
Oh, don't judge.
Charley, my name is Gary Dimmer. I used to work at the sheriff's office 30 years. So, okay. So Charley's probably thinking, my God, what's Gary doing up here? I'm here to put an end to this charade. First of all, have you guys seen the pictures of Charley with the hat on? All right, can you picture me with the hat on? Like, I look like a total geek, but he looks good in it. And to look good in that uniform with that hat on, you have to be an ass. Second of all, I want his kids to come clean. How many of you seen the movie The Great Santini? Huh? If you haven't, you should watch it. It's Robert Duvall in one of his most iconic performances, where the family is made to report like Marines in the barracks every single morning. They call them sir when they stand in front of them. Right? You got? Tell them the truth about what's going on in the street house, because people need to know. But in as much as Robert Duvall was an icon in the movie The Great Santini, Charley was an icon at the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office. And we had a great time working together, and I'll always remember that.
Is that good? What about maybe this one? Is it on? Is it on? Okay. So if I had to pick one word for Charley, so I'm going to say the word compass. Because Charley always points to good and to right. and to hold people accountable for the good and the right. And I thank them every day for being the friend and the person in our lives that has been able to stand up for good and right. The right thing to do, the right thing to say, the right thing to be. Not everything's easy. Life is freaking hard. And he will stand by you when things are hard, and he will cheer you when the things are easy. And he will absolutely be the person that will applaud you for your successes. But if he does anything, he's going to hold you to being right. And I love him for it. He's an amazing man. Sue, I'm lucky to call you my best friend, and the things that we've been able to do. Bobby and Eric are, our oldest son is 2 years younger than Eric, and they've been able to grow up together. When we came back home to Dunedin, Pat was on recruiting duty, and he was very absent. And Charley stepped in. He stepped in, and he coached Bobby, and he coached Eric, and he held them both to the highest standards. You know what? You don't have to be good, but you have to be a team player. You don't have to be right, or you don't have to, make the show if you show up. And my son today, those are the things that he carries strong. I don't have to be right, but I'm going to show up. I'm not going to be a quitter. I can be the worst player. Charley, what was Bobby? He was the worst player. Okay? And I say that honestly. My son is not an athlete. He is actually an actor. And Charley had to umpire him many times. And I know that Charley had to call in, had to check himself to just, God, do I have to call that a strike again? That boy can't hit the ball for nothing. Okay? But he was right, and he held him to be true. And what he's brought to Pat and I's family, and Sue has given us to continue to grow as families and to share this with them, with all the things that we've shared over the last, I don't know, how long have you guys been together? 37 years. Pat and I's first official out date where people saw us was their wedding. I caught the bouquet, by the way. Just in case anybody wants to know how Pat and I got married, it was because Sue and Charley and I caught the bouquet. But if you ever think of Charley again, I hope you look at the way that I look at it. And he points to right, and he points to goodness, and he is the compass for us. I love you guys.
All right. So, similar to the man that came up and talking about soccer, I know Charley from a completely separate thing too, which is the pipe band. So I've known him through all of that, and I have two things that I want to talk about. The first one, Charley and I actually dated Charley's daughter for a very brief period of time. And at the time, it was, we'll call it a little spicy, because I was 22 and she was 17. And being a member of the pipe band, dating a guy in the pipe band's daughter, who is 17, and it's the cop guy's daughter, there was a lot of, you have large whatever, man, to do that. And I remember being at one of the pipe band Christmas parties at Carl's house, right around when all of that was kind of starting. Everybody's like, Charley's gonna kill you. He's gonna murder you. He's gonna drown you in Carl's pool. And I remember he was like, here, come outside and talk to me. And everybody's like, this is happening. And we sat outside, had a really nice conversation, and Charley was very supportive at the time and just spoke very highly of me, and it really meant a lot to me that somebody that I respected so much and saw that anyone in the pipe band, everybody respected Charley, no matter what. Yes, he was the drum sergeant at the time, but it wasn't just that. It was just an aura of respect that he commanded no matter where he was. So for him to be supportive of me dating his daughter meant a lot, and so that's always something that's always stuck with me. The next thing, Charley is a direct participant in one of my favorite, most hilarious stories that's ever happened in my entire life. And to this day, I will never ever forget Charley for this reason. We were on a pipe band trip, or at a Highland Games, and it's like a big outdoor field, like essentially outhouse bathrooms. None of these places are always super nice. So there was, at the time, there was a guy in the band, a kid who was like 17, very, very, we'll call it confident. And, I can go out and do all this stuff the night before, it's not gonna mess me up, so on and so forth. So we would always kind of rib this kid a little bit. And I remember it was myself and Charley and Dan Eaton standing around near the bathroom. And this kid comes over and is kind of chit-chatting, whatever, and said, oh, hold on, I have to go to the bathroom. And I can't remember which one of us it was. We're like, oh, do you have your money? And he's like, money for what? I said, oh, it costs money to use the bathroom here. And Charlie's like, yeah, it does. And we were trying to sell him on it, and he was like a little bit into it, and like, yeah, you really have to do it. Said, no, that's not true. You guys are pulling my leg, so on and so forth. And by just the most kismet of moments, somebody in the bathroom drops their change. And we're like, see? They just paid their money. And he goes, shit. And we were dying. So Charley, in honor of your retirement, I have your coin for the bathroom. The next trip to the bathroom you need, just in case. I just really wanted a hug more than anything. Anytime somebody asks about one of my favorite stories, it's that one. It's just the best. Congrats, Charley.
So that was a trip when we went to Montreal and Maxville. And that was in Montreal, the Porta-John. I never laughed so hard in my life. We really felt bad for that young fella. So I guess I don't have to worry anymore about skipping any stories. Because everybody's hitting them. They're hitting all the stories. I have to bring my handkerchief up here because I know I'm going to be a wreck. I told Sue, I've been telling people I'm going to be blubbering wreck when I get up here. It was tough this morning setting up, like a wedding, setting up for a wedding. Like I said at the beginning, being the MC, I'm not used to being the guy. I don't know how to act as the guy. But this is very humbling and almost a little embarrassing for me. I really, really appreciate it. Like I said at the beginning, your presence here means so much to me, so much to us. Of course, I think about the two people in the world that I would like more than anything to be here, Mom and Dad, and 3 with Sam Keith. But they're watching, I know. They're happy that this day is here. I think about my mother and father-in-law, Pat and Jim Schroeder. My father-in-law recovering from a stroke, and my mother-in-law caring for him. I think they're watching on the live stream. So you heard a little bit earlier, I'm a family man. I've always been a family man. As my father was before me, it's what I learned from my dad. Bonnie, a couple years ago, gave me the ultimate compliment, and she said, "You're living Dad's life. You are living Dad's life. You're a working man, you're raising your family, you're doing the right thing." And so when Sue started cracking the whip on me and telling me, "You gotta get your list, together," I put a lot of thought into it. And I wanted my family my family's involved. So that's what we have here. My sister-in-law says, I don't even know so many people. Well, they're not all cops. I have my green family, and I have my soccer family. I have my photography family, my Highland dancing family, my blood family, my in-laws, my community family. This was a long time coming, and again, harking back to Dad, I learned the lesson from my dad that you finish what you start. You finish what you start. There have been times over the past few years, and it's been tough in our profession in the past few years, and for our agency in the past 19 months in particular. I've been close, really close to pulling the trigger and saying, that's it. But I finished what I started, what I learned from my dad. What ICE did for me was last spring, I got a call from someone very high up the chain of command, and Captain Carey from AIB is here, and her husband, the Colonel's here, so I won't mention the name. It wasn't them. Someone high up in the chain of command called me on an off day and said, we're sitting around here planning for the future, and we heard that you're retiring this October, would have been last October. And you're the next sergeant to retire, and we know you're the senior sergeant, and we just want to, are you retiring this year? I don't know where you got that idea. 2022 is my date. Oh, okay, but we're just planning for the future. We're just thinking about the future now. And I think, I got it. I can read between the lines. No, sorry, sir. Hung up the phone, and it was at that moment I knew I would not go 1 minute earlier than this day. I finished what I started. I went on my time. That was my thing. I wanted to go on my time. For me, being in uniform is the greatest job in the world. It's what we sign up for when we raise our hand and swear to protect the public and serve. And years ago, I was a corporal in the South, and we had a change of sergeants, and our new sergeant came in, and the very first meeting he had with the deputies, he said, well, if you want to transfer somewhere, let me know, because I have a lot of connections, and because pushing a green and white car around for a career is a miserable existence. Miserable existence from a uniformed sergeant. And I always remembered that and never forgot that. And I swore that I would never repeat that. Because for me, I've been in uniform my entire adult life. From my time in the Marines, and my time with Dunedin in the Sheriff's Office. And I did not consider it a miserable existence. Again, it was the best job in the world. To get to that point, when I was in the academy, I owed so much to my mother-in-law, Pat Schroeder. The logistics were insane. Sue's going to work. I'd wake up in the morning, get Kimmy, who was 2, throw her in the car, run down to South Pasadena, drop her off at my mother-in-law's house, drive to the academy, do the academy all day, come back to Pasadena, pick up Kimmy, run home, do the homework, and then repeat, sleep and repeat. So I owe so much to my in-laws for that support. Got lucky, got a call from Dunedin in January 6, 1992, my first day on the job. And JD, where are you? First day on the job, Bill Bird and I swore in at the same time. I was already out of the academy. I was policeman. Bill swore in and went to the academy. But Dunedin was a little bit weird. And D comes before S, so Bill was listed senior to me on the roster, the seniority roster. Yeah. Okay, well, you're a lieutenant now, but I pay your salary. And tell the Bill Bird story really quick here. So for years, he was senior to me. When we came over to the sheriff's office in '95, he was senior to me. Man, that is really screwed up, you know? Well, finally in '95, I got promoted to sergeant. We were promoted on the same day, but his date of rank was 2 weeks after mine, right? So I was senior to him for 3 years, and then you got lieutenant, and you called me up. But JD loves, and back to the beginning, I worked with some of the best guys on the planet with the Dunedin Police Department. Great little agency. JD, Bill, John Miller, Mike Papa Michael, Ryan Buckley, Don Rogers, Dave Littlejohn, all those guys. It was a great learning environment. We really cared about community and we cared about each other. It was great. So first day, no uniforms. I'm in a coat and tie. Swear in, they give me a 3-ring binder. Well, your FTO is on vacation. Here, read through these general orders. I've been lucky enough to ride with some of the Dunedin officers, and I became acquainted with JD. We know him as the world's fastest man because he has one speed. He's always moving. JD came in the room and said, "What are you doing? Come with me. You come ride with me. I'm going to lunch." Okay. I had my badge on. I was wearing a vest. We jump in the car. We were going to go. Do you remember this? The Tong Hua Chinese restaurant. Right? It's not there anymore. The building's there. It's at, I don't even know what it is. It's D-Town now. That building was a Chinese restaurant in 1992. As soon as we got to the parking lot, we barely opened the doors. The school resource officer from Dunedin gets on the radio. He was in a vehicle pursuit with a motorcyclist running from him. JD says, "Get back in the car. We're going to join that." Slides sideways out on Ohio Avenue, goes east on Ohio just as the motorcycle's coming west. The motorcycle dodges us, goes into the apartment complex through the grass. JD says, "Let's get him." We jumped out, we bulldogged this guy off the motorcycle, handcuffed him, walked him back to the cruiser that was on fire because the motor blew up. This was day one. I got home and said, "This is the greatest job in the world." Yeah, does this happen all the time? But thanks for taking me on, man. That was really cool. That was very cool. So we get to '95 and we get all the change and we're not sure what's going to happen with the agency. I know there was a lot of the folks who were very loyal to the agency and didn't want to see us leave, but it worked out. You know, it worked out. It worked out for me. And a lot of good leadership in the sheriff's office that I remember. I remember Lieutenant Jim Levant and I remember Frank Davis. We disagree about that, but I kind of tried to model my leadership style after them. I as a family guy, I always thought that I always looked at my deputies as an extension of my family. I was very protective of my deputies, but I held them accountable and responsible as long as they did their job. I learned from Phillips and Una and Dimmer, and Daly, the old guys. I get to sit at the big boy table now. Appreciate everything they've done for me. You know, I was promoted to sergeant, and there's a guy here who used to work with the sheriff's office, that he paid me the ultimate compliment I think I've ever had as a law enforcement officer, as a sergeant at least. When Sean Pappas was talking to our corporal at the time, when Sean worked for me, and he described me as being old school. And that is the ultimate compliment these days, because there's not a lot of old school anymore. I'm a 17-year sergeant. Never wanted to be a lieutenant. I was good where I was at. Those last 17 years, a patrol sergeant, and Buddy, you'll attest to this, the uniform sergeant job is the best, bar none. You're mentoring the new deputies and keeping the seasoned ones on an even keel every now and then. I'm going off track here. I'm so moved by everyone being here. And during those 17 years, never shied away from responsibility. There were times, and Jeff, you remember this, in 2015 and 2020 in particular, I was the acting shift commander more than I was just a sergeant. I was doing the lieutenant's job. Never bothered me. And during that time, I found that golden nugget for the sergeant in patrol with the sheriff's office are the corporals. The number 2 guy. They're in between. They're not one of them and they're not one of us. And I had some stellar young members as corporals, and some of them are here today, and I greatly appreciate that. Now, Deanna Carey is a corporal in internal affairs. She was a corporal and all. Jeff Pricing was dumb enough to come back to me twice as a corporal. Yeah. And Alex Wadraska is here. She was one of my corporals. And there's another guy here, and I just mention him briefly because he reminds me a lot of me. A guy named Jared Schuler. He served as my corporal for the longest. He was 2 years. He's dedicated, devoted to his family as much as he is to the agency. He helped me through some very rough times with some very rough deputies. And I appreciate all the work he did. I wanted to mention him in particular because when Greg Mason from Dunedin retired, we all went to that big party. I remember standing up and saying that I had a deputy who worked for me that was born in 1990 something, and that I hoped that when I retired, that deputy would have as fond memories of me as I did of the sergeant who was retiring. And for the dirt that Jared and I chewed over the past couple of years, I sure hope he does have some fun memories, good and bad. Just a couple more things. I don't have 2 brothers. 2 of them introduced themselves. I have 3 brothers. Actually, this guy Cheever, the guy who I said, only listen to 10% of what he says. When my older brothers went off to the Air Force and the Marine Corps, I didn't have a brother. I had a sister abusing me. And I didn't know, there is no way that someone could close their own thumb in the car door. It is physically impossible. And I've just got, it's not here, but I've got to set the record straight because she's much older than me. My memory is much better than hers. We were arguing, and she said, I want to close the door. I want to close the door. I said, go ahead and close the door. My thumb was near the seatbelt, right? She closed the door on my hand. She closed it. You can try it. You can't close your own hand in the door. But Pat, we go back to middle school, we go to the Marine Corps, from the band, it doesn't matter time away from each other. We connect, and it's just like yesterday. I can't tell you how important it is or how good it's been for us to be here the past few days. Played a heck of a lot of golf, not very good golf.
For me. Yeah, you did great.
Finally, I come to the person who makes me the man that I am. And it's my wife, Sue. From in 1990, when my enlistment was coming up, and I gave her this harebrained idea that I think we should move to Florida, and I would like to start this career. She has never said no, never tried to talk me out of it, never at all, nothing but support and love. I'm usually not at a loss for words, and so then coworkers will tell you that. I usually talk quite a bit. When I talk about Sue, I'm at a loss because I don't have nearly enough words to describe the love and admiration that I have for her and what she's done for me and our beautiful family. Kids, I asked the kids the other day, each one of them, was it tough growing up with me as a cop? And Sterling and DJ were like, yeah. DJ gave the best answer. He said, well, I never lost a fight in school. Like, my dad's a cop. Boom. Finally, Jeff Gow. Where you at, Jeff? Jeff, way in the back. Jeff and I were talking earlier, and I did some counting the other day, and over the 30 years and 10 months I worked on the job, it's been approximately 13 of those years that I spent just in Benita. And that's by choice, not by accident. I'm living the dream. I'm growing up I'm working, living in the community that I grew up in. This is our little slice of heaven, and I'm just really proud and honored to have been able to serve as long as I did. I'd like to close with the timeless words of the great author Dr. Seuss. Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened. Thanks, everybody, ever so much for being here. My heart's bursting. I'm beyond honored and happy. You see a happy man stand before you. So, that's all I got. Thank you.
Well, with all those kind, sweet words, we have 13 dozen cupcakes, and I am not bringing them home. So you need to eat in 40 minutes a cupcake, and have a happy, wonderful rest of your Sunday. We are so grateful that all of you are here. But please, 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 please take a cupcake.
Should be good for chocolate.
You want to grab you one before it's gone?
Yes, chocolate please.